Hey YouTube, Snowman here. Um, I'm not in my garage today. I'm not in my backyard. I'm in a different place today. Got off work a little bit earlier than normal today, and I went to the Pennsylvania DMV and I applied so I could test for my Class A CDL. I'm pretty excited about that. I already have my Class B with air brake endorsement. I want to get my license so I can haul combination trailers. I call them bendy trucks that bend in the middle. So there's I think there's 25 practice questions. I went online and there's a bunch of practice tests. You can take them as many times as you want. You just keep taking it over and over and over, and it kind of drills it into your skull. So far, I've gotten a couple perfects, but there's a few questions the way they word them. You know how they are. They trick you. They might switch two keywords, and you just might not catch them, and you end up getting the question wrong. And I forget how many you're allowed to miss. But went and did that today. Applied. So tomorrow, I have to do it before 2 o'clock. So tomorrow I'm going to go take my permit written test. It's on a computer. So that was exciting. Well, since I was able to get off work early and went and applied, I didn't actually get to take my test yet, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. Anyhow, obviously I'm on my bicycle, and I always talk about it, how I'm going to take you with me. And well, I'm in a park. It's called Alameda Park in Butler, PA. They do have mountain bike, like single track trails. Recently had some wet weather, so try to stay off them. The guys that maintain those trails work really hard to get them nice and groomed. And I promise everybody, next time it's nice, we'll go up on the hill up there behind me. There's some really neat trails back there, really well thought up and a lot of fun. But this is more of the trail I'm on. This is more of like a double track service road. It's wide enough for a pickup or a car. And this comes in through the back side of the park. This is just part. I do like an urban / off-road / like, it's a big loop. It's probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10 miles. It's a big loop, and you can do it real quickly. Get home from work early like I did today. You can bust it out, and then sometimes I will use this same loop, like on a Sunday or something, and I'll add a bunch more to it. I'll make it more like 20, 25. Sometimes you just go crazy and just ride until you can't see no more. Ride until your eyes bleed. That's what I like to say. But I ride my bike for a lot of different reasons. I ride it for exercise. I said it before, blow off steam. And it definitely takes the edge off. And nothing like staying in shape. Your heart's a muscle. It's good to make that heart beat, and it's nice to oxygenate your body tissues, and just keep those joints moving. I think it lubricates your joints, and and if you have friends to do it with, it can be a social event. Sometimes I like just to ride by myself. Sometimes just some peace and quiet, and just some time to think about things. But I'm glad I was able to bring you out here with me today, and just kind of, I just come out here and I just enjoy the just nature, and you can hear the birds. Yes, this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite things to do. I've showed you my bikes before. This is my trusty single speed. You see on the back there, if anybody is familiar with bicycles, There's no shifter on there. There's no derailleur. It's just a single speed chromoly steel, no suspension. Just, I like to compare it. It's, if you were going to compare that bicycle to a power saw, it's the Macalla of bicycles. You know, some of those Macallas are pretty special and pretty high performance, but some of them are just, you know, they're just basic saws that get it done. And that's basically what this is. There's no suspension, so it's almost just like just an old school style bicycle. You know, when you're done riding it, you know it pretty much kicks your butt. Yeah, another thing I was thinking about the other day. When I was 16 years old. It was 1993. It was in the wintertime. I had been dating a girl. She was younger than me. It was just a short-lived thing. You know, I was young. It was just like, you know, you have a girlfriend, you hold hands, and you go over and you watch movies together, and that's about all we ever did. You know, it was just, I was young and shy and everything else, but her dad liked me. Her dad would take me hunting, took me up to deer camp, and he'd take me out, cut firewood one time. They had a wood stove or wood furnace in their basement, and right near his brother's property, there was a service road and a pipeline, like a right-of-way for a pipeline, and there was a bunch of dead trees that were already on the ground. Well, the one day, he's like, "Hey, you want to go cut some firewood and split some firewood?" And at the time, I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'll do that." I was just young, you know. I just started growing a beard, I remember. I had some peach fuzz, but it started growing a beard. I was all excited. I felt like, you know, real manly. Excuse me. So, we loaded up the truck, and I forget what kind of chainsaw he had. He had like an old Husqvarna or something. And he had an old double bit axe. And I didn't even know anything about axes back then, but he had a pretty big, I remember thinking, man, this thing is pretty big. So it's a big double bit axe. So he had his old Chevy square body. I think it was like an 84 and 85 Chevy pickup. I helped him put a motor in it. Not shortly before this happened. So we took an old engine out of an old station wagon. I think it was a 305 small block Chevy, and we put it in his truck. Well, he was, you know, he had 4-wheel drive, and so we drove it up into the right-of-way of the pipeline and pulled it in right where all the wood was. Well, he went around and he started bucking up firewood. After we got enough to get a truckload, we started splitting. You know, I'd take some turns and he'd take some turns. Well, this is where the story gets interesting. I don't know if any of you have ever had a near-death experience. I don't want to say I had a near-death experience. Let's put it this way. I could have very easily died at this moment. Well, we had a chopping block and we were putting a log on top, and you know, after he'd split, I would reposition a log or pick up the scraps and start throwing it in the back of the pickup, stacking it in the pickup. Well, I grabbed the log, threw it onto the pickup truck, and the log was not quite the way I thought maybe he wanted it, and this is my fault. We didn't communicate. Well, just as he was starting to split the log, at that very moment, I bent over real quick. You know, 16 years old, you're pretty quick moving when you're that age. I bent down, and just as I was bending over to reposition the log, I saw a flash of light. It sounded like a shotgun blast, and a bolt of lightning, a flash of lightning, and then like a just this loud, the noise I just made, that's what I heard. And by the time I realized what was going on, I was face down in the snow. There was a little bit of snow, and it was warm. It was snowy, but then it warmed up, so it was like slush. Well, I picked my head up, and I'm like, oh my God, what was that? And I looked up at, his name's Jim, and I said, what happened? And he was white as a ghost. He was white as a ghost. He goes, I just hit you in the back of the head with the axe. I said, what? He goes, yeah. And it was just bad luck and just being inexperienced and not communicating, maybe being in a hurry. I'm telling you, people, I got hit in the back of the head with a double bit axe, and he was swinging for the fences. I mean, he was splitting firewood. And I ended up with, I think it was 10 staples in the back of my head. If I shave my head to this day, there was a perfect cut in my scalp. I had been wearing a ball cap. It was a Atlanta Braves ball cap. And I got hit in the back of the head. It cut through that ball cap, through my skull, through my scalp, and into my skull. Like, it didn't crack my skull. You want to talk about being lucky, or you had a guardian angel watching over you or whatever, but yeah, I had a headache for a couple days after that. I'm sure I was concussed and probably had my eggs scrambled a little bit, but yeah, that was my first experience with an axe. And that's funny because my first experience was almost my last experience with an axe. But it's really, really funny because I was thinking about telling that story just a few days ago, and I talked to my brother today. He goes, Snowman, he goes, I got an idea for a video. I'm like, what's that? He goes, remember when you got hit with the axe? And it was just like instant goosebumps on your arms, because it's like, can this guy read my mind? Are we on the same wavelength? And sometimes I think that we are. I don't know if you guys ever had any experiences like that where you maybe were thinking about something and someone else was thinking about it too, and it's like some Twilight Zone stuff. But yeah, that was my brush with an axe, with a little taste of almost meeting my maker. But that's my story for today. So jump in the comments. Let me know what you think of it, what you think of that, or maybe some of you have some experiences where you had a little scare, or somebody that had a scare and came out to be real lucky. I call that luck because we all know what axes do. Whatever they hit, they smash and destroy. So I think I just have a thick skull. So, oh yeah, real quick before I jump off here, when I first started doing this YouTube channel, my wife, she caught on kind of quick, and she thought it was weird, and it's dumb, it's stupid. What are you trying to do? She called it attention seeking. Well, I don't know what YouTube isn't. It's pretty much, you're putting yourself out there. You're getting attention, be it good or bad. But I talked about it before. We all know why I'm here, and I think I know why I'm here. But right now, this is just me trying something new, and it's a good outlet, believe it or not. But my wife, my son told me this. My wife has been watching my videos secretly. My son goes, hey Dad, hey mom watches your videos all the time. So she's watching them, and that's kind of cool, because she gets to see a side of me that, she doesn't get to see. I don't talk like this in front of her, and this is my time, and it's kind of cool. You're stupid for doing YouTube videos, and then she's secretly watching them. So, honey, if you're watching this, I love you, and I'll be home soon. So, well, everyone have a good night. It's a beautiful evening. I'm gonna go home, get a shower. I'm gonna study up for my Class A CDL test, and I'll keep you updated on how that all works out. And Black Diamond, if you're out there watching, I love you, and we'll have to get together one of these days. I know we don't see each other all the time, but we'll have to make some time. All right, friends, family. God bless my family, your family, living and deceased. Every day's a holiday. Every meal's a feast. Have a good night.